What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today you will see a leg workout. The first workout that you're actually going to see after winning the Chicago Pro. Wow. This is the first video on the road to the Mr. Olympia. I'm actually going to do the Mr. Olympia. Every time I say it, it still sounds like a dream. But it's a dream come true. And I'm going to do my very best to be my best at the Olympia. And guys, the shape that I'm in since the Chicago Pro, I pretty much stay in the same shape, except I'm gonna grow. Because I'm upping my carbs. Yeah, pretty much upping the carbs. I still carb cycle, but instead of the old carb cycle with lower carbs, I'm now having 2 very high days and 1 medium day. And the cardio has been reduced, keeping the legs full. But you know, this is the first workout you're gonna see, a back workout. So, let's do this and enjoy the video. And as you can see, the shape is still there, because I didn't make my weight at all, because I was way below the weight. Below 240 pounds with clothes on. And my body represents itself the best with a full package. And that with, I mean, fullness in the muscles and striation at the same time. So, I'm going to do my best to make that happen. I'm going to show you the supplements I take. I'm going to show you the food that I eat, the plans that I use to get myself ready for the Olympia. And perhaps also some posing in between, you know, how I do those classic poses, the transitions, talking to you guys about it, how I improved my own posing, and what I learned from Chicago Pro. So anyway, guys, enjoy the video. Alright, so moving on to the workout itself, the back workout. And this is going to be such an amazing journey to the Olympia, less than 9 weeks left. The classic physique class needs to go on stage on Friday, September 14th. Actually, let me check if that's true. 1 second. September 14th. That's when classic physique will go on stage at 7 p.m. in the evening. And the nice thing is, the big guy, once I'm done with everything actually, I will see the actual open class backstage. So when I'm backstage myself, walking off stage, I will see the big guys warming up. So we'll be seeing everybody. And that's just amazing. But anyway, enough about the Olympia. I will be talking about that plenty in the future. Right now, let's focus on the workout. So first, you saw me do a lat pull down to the back, you know, back behind the neck. And that is because I'm still working on the back thickness. The width is done for, the width is there. So the back thickness will be worked on, doing mostly rows and mostly 1 or 2 pull downs. But if I do a pull down, it is always focused on the thickness as well, such as this V-bar pull down or small grip pull down, whatever you want to call it. I like to do this one because it really allows me to contract those middle lower traps, which I need to work on. If you work on the middle back and the lower traps, you will fill out your back and it will look that much bigger. For example, if you only gain 500 grams of muscle in that area, you will look 2,000 grams heavier, fuller. And that's what you want to achieve. Bodybuilding is about creating an illusion, and that is what I'm going to do. So as I said, the V taper in terms of the lat width is there, but the thickness needs to be there to compete with the guys at the very top. So that's why I'm doing this exercise. And also, I'm not going to focus on the weight as much. It's going to be a combination of true mind-muscle connection and combining it with going as heavy as I can to force some growth into me before the Olympia. And then the third exercise of today, another good classic exercise, the seated row. And if you look closely, this, you don't want to neglect the back width. What I could be doing is keeping my back very straight and just focus on the contraction here. But if you focus both on the stretch, as you can see what I'm doing right there, and the contraction, you'll both work the width and the thickness automatically. But as it is a row, the thickness is prioritized, guys. It's about the thickness. That's what I want to work on. So the contraction part is very important. If you cannot pull your elbows past your waist anymore, if they're stuck there, if they're stuck in front of your waist, if you cannot, put your lower back into an arch, that means that the weight is too heavy. You want to be able to make, that connection with the muscles, to be able to create that back thickness. And by the way, this belt that I'm wearing right here is available on vintagegenetics.com. It was out of stock for a while, and we only had size large, but now we have size medium, large, and extra large. And of course, I cannot do a back workout with at least doing either a barbell row, a bent over row, or a T-bar row, or a deadlift. I have to do at least 1 or 2 true free weight exercises, because I'm all about old school bodybuilding, and that truly gave me the physique that I showcased on the Chicago Pro stage. And I of course read all the comments, all the feedback. Some modern people like, the look of a more fuller, more, conditioned bodybuilder, but I like the old school golden era version where there is flow, where there is grace and everything is in good proportion, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the legs need to grow that much. However, I am very aware that the hamstrings and the quad sweep need to improve quite a lot to compete with the guys at the Olympia. So don't get me wrong, I will be working very hard on those as much as I am working on the back thickness. And what I just did is a wide grip barbell row, so going a little bit past the knees, making sure that I stretch the lats at least and stretch out the muscles that I want to stretch so I can contract them better as well. And then the next exercise is a deadlift. I'm doing it from a dead position on the floor, which is why it is called a deadlift, because you're pulling a dead or a still weight from the floor. But what I'm doing is I'm actually upping the height from where I lift the bar. Why am I doing this? Well, I used to have an injury in my lower back due to deadlifting quite heavy from the floor. I am quite tall. Usually I'm the tallest on stage, which while working out during squats, doing deadlifts is simply more of a risk. Because if I go down too quickly on a squat, for example, there is so much pressure on the lower back that if I don't look out, I can easily injure myself, which I did years ago, and it remains a sensitive spot right there. So I simply don't want to risk it. So just upping where I pull the bar from with a few inches still puts my back at work at 100%. Keeps my legs a little bit out of the movement because I'm really focusing on the back right now and not the legs. And also wearing a belt, of course, as you can see, the vintage old school leather padded belt to keep my lower back protected. And as you can see, it is very tight. The tighter it is, the more your core will be able to contract and push against the belt, helping you assist with the lift. And I did about 2 or 3 more sets after this one, going heavier. But if I cannot do more than 6 reps, I don't go heavier than that, because I don't want to risk pulling any muscle, straining any muscle, because come on guys, we're going to the Olympia. So you not only have to train hard, but also smart. Alright, so now that the back is finished, feeling nice and pumped, it's been completely worked, especially the thickness, then it is time for the biceps. Now biceps, they are one of my strong points, but what are you seeing right here? I'm starting with an empty bar. Why? Shouldn't a strong point, shouldn't you be doing a heavy weight? It's a strong point. So why can't you lift very heavy with it? The thing about bodybuilding is that it's more about the mind-muscle connection, not as much as the amount of weight that you can lift. Otherwise, all powerlifters would be the best bodybuilders on earth. And they are not. It's all about creating proportion in the body when you're doing bodybuilding. You're building every single muscle up to be in perfect proportion. So what I'm doing is at the same time de-risking the fact that my biceps get an injury, so really warm them up first, and the barbell is already at a 15 kilogram weight, so it's not that light, and you want the mind-muscle connection to set in first. If you start out too heavy, you might go too heavy every single time, not allowing yourself to practice and to teach yourself how to feel the muscle contract. So if you look, I fully contract the muscle, and then I use my front delt a little bit to help the bicep get all the way up for a full 100% contraction instead of an 85% contraction. That is the difference between a regular bicep and a high quality 3D peaky bicep. Consistent work like that gives you a different result that you want to see. And then the last exercise of today, I usually do 2 bicep exercises, both 4 sets, is this one, the rope hammer curl. And I like to do this first of all because it really gives a nice touch to the fullness of the arm by working on the brachialis muscle, which is in between the bicep and the tricep. As you can see that little area right there contracting. That's what you're working, making sure the bicep is nice and thick. And guys, this was only one of the many videos that you will see about my prep. This for now is just a training video, but I will be including all my nutrition and my supplements and everything I mentioned at the start in this video. And by the way, the shirt that I'm wearing, the dropped armhole shirt, the tank top and racerbacks are all available on vintagegenetics.com. All new, so if you're interested, check it out. I want to thank you for watching, and do not forget to stay golden.